Hello guys, today we're going to learn the king's pawn opening, and this works if you're playing with the white or black pieces. This is a very standard opening and works from beginners to grandmaster league. So what you want to do is you want to move your pawn to e4, and what black can do a variety of things. They can do the Caro-Kann defense, they can do the Scandinavian, they can do the French defense, and it basically goes along the same line. So the king's pawn opening is trying to get these four central squares. So what you want to do is you want to move your pawn to e4 there, and your opponent will probably move their pawn to e5. That's the most common, but they can also do the other things that I just showed you. And what you want to do if it gets into this position is you want to move your knight to f3, and this attacks their pawn on e5, and this is a threat here. So they're going to have to defend their pawn somehow with either moving their knight to c6 or their pawn to d6. So they're going to want to defend that. Usually they'll defend with this. If they defend with the pawn, the problem with that is it's kind of locking their bishop into this compartment here. So if this goes, then their bishop is not controlling very much squares. It's not attacking anything. It's just kind of compressed in here, and their queen can also not go out either. So usually the best move to play is here, and you can also do this with the black pieces if your opponent pushes e5, same thing. But yeah, so they'll probably move their knight here, and what you'll want to do in this position is either move your bishop out or move your knight out, because you want to develop your back rank pieces and then castle like this, and that's kind of how you play chess. So you want to get your pieces out into the center to control these four center squares. So you'll want to move your bishop out here. So there's a bunch of different things that black can play here, but I can't really cover all of them. But the idea is that you move your knight out to here, or your other knight to here, or your bishop out to one of these two squares, and then push the pawn so you don't get trapped in here with this. So after here, knight here, and they'll probably move their knight here, but it's the same thing. If they move their pawn here, then you'll just want to get your bishop out and keep developing, and life is good here. But yeah, really the main line here is here, here, and then move your bishop out, and then they can either move their knight, get into some fried liver action, or they can just develop their knight as well, or their bishop, my bad, and keep going with that. So remember this, king's pawn opening starts with e5, and then, or e4, and then e5, and then you'll want to move your knight out, and it just follows this line here. And there's a bunch of things you can do here. You can either move your knight out or your pawn out, because your bishop is already on one of these two squares. And I say that you can also move your bishop to this square too, and this is kind of putting pressure on their knight. And if they say they move their pawn up here, you got a pin here, and what the pin means is this knight cannot move, or they'll lose their king, and it doesn't let you move or anything here. So yeah, so e4, e5, and you can move your knight out, bishop, anything, and the idea is that you just get your pieces out here, and they can also move their bishop out. And yeah, and then you just keep developing and defending things, and then moving your piece out here, and like this, and then you castle, and your position is very solid, and you have this structure here, which is a very good structure. It would preferably if your bishop was on this square, but they kind of blocked it with this, and you don't really want to put your bishop here. Oh, my bad. The castle. You don't really want to. You could get into this position and push their pawn, but yeah, you could do that. But anyways, so that's a lot of the situations here. I'm going to play a couple practice games to show you what I mean by this, and all of the different things that you can do with e4, e5. So, and I can also play it from the black too. And it's the same thing, because usually they'll play this, and you just need to make sure you'll defend this pawn to not get down material early. So I'll play some practice games. So we're going to start a practice game here. We're going to play 3-minute blitz, so it doesn't take them too long to move. Let's just get right into a game. So we put the black pieces here. Hopefully we'll play. Okay, he does play e4 here, so we should probably respond to e5, getting into the king's pawn opening, as you see here. And he attacks my pawn here, so we're going to want to defend with our knight here. defending the pawn and see what he does next. So this is very standard stuff. He moves his bishop out to take this diagonal, very standard. We could move our knight here and get into some fried liver action like here and then here, but that's a whole nother video if I'm going to make that, and that's a lot to explain, so we don't want to move our knight here. Do not move your knight here, okay? And we're going to move our bishop out, just very standard stuff, taking this diagonal. If his knight was here and his pawn was up, then we could have moved our bishop here, but this is pretty standard stuff here. He pushes the pawn, what is this called? The Italian gambit, I think. So we're just going to take the pawn. I don't think there's any punishment here, just take the pawn and keep going. So now he moves his knight here, attacking this. I don't know exactly what to do here, but I think we could move our knight here, protecting this square here. So you just got to use kind of your logic. I can't cover every single move like the Italian gambit here. So just play with your logic here. I could move my knight here, or I could move my other knight here. And we'll do this attacking his bishop, so hopefully he'll flee away here. And then push this pawn and kick his knight off, and life is good. So he'll move his bishop back, very logical. I think now we'll try to kick his knight. He'll probably come back here. And yeah, so now we got these two on the same file. Okay, he does decide to take. So, ooh, he moved his queen out, both attacking here. So we're going to want to defend that, probably with this. But I don't really want to get my king out there, so. But we might have to do that. Or we could just move here and shut this down completely. I think I'll move here, attacking his queen, also stopping him from taking this checkmate here. This is some dangerous stuff, but as long as you keep your calm. I am a little bit down on time, but that should be okay. We want... this really defends everything, I think. So yeah, I'll try to start moving quicker so we don't lose by time. So he's going to try to attack this to open this up. I could just move here because the knight is not the thing that's attacking me anymore, so he doesn't have this. He could just trade and then trade here. We'll see what he does. He moves over there. We could block here, or we could just block with our queen. Maybe here? Yeah, we'll move here. And then he'll probably trade here. So this is called the pre-move. I wouldn't do this if you're too much of a beginner, but anyways, so now I pretty much shut down his attack, so let's start attacking him. The prey becomes the predator, something like that. So yeah, and we'll attack him with our knight here, because there's not any threat on this square anymore, and check him here. Don't want this to take too long. And now could push this, or we could take. We'll just take here. But yeah, pretty much defend that. And we'll take here. And we got the checkmate here. So that did take a little bit, but that was some pretty standard stuff. Hopefully we'll get a game with the white pieces to see what they could do. So yeah, here e4, e5 was played, and we got into the Italian gambit here. So this was pretty interesting. I don't know if I defended this great, but I did kind of my best. I've actually never played against this opening before, so hopefully you can learn off of this. I really like this knight move here, because this forces his bishop to move back and have that. And then I was able to defend this attack pretty well, and then start attacking him and get this checkmate here. So let's move on to the next game. So hopefully we get the white pieces this time, because the last time we got the black pieces and got that. So now we can get to play with the white pieces. So obviously this is about the king's pawn opening, which I do get here. So this is pretty standard stuff. So we'll move our knight out, attacking this. Okay, so we got the Petrov's defense here. I think there's also a gambit to this too. So he is attacking this. If we take, then there's some sort of gambit with this, but I think I'll take anyways. This pawn is not free because of this trade here. Okay, now he moves there. There's a bunch of stuff that we could try to play here, like this maybe, and we can't move this back, so this is pretty tricky too. We'll move our pawn up here and accept this trade here. And then probably move here to start putting pressure on this square. I love putting pressure on the f7 pawn for black. This can lead some to attacks here. I have a triple threat here, and really this can lead to checkmates, this can lead to forks, this can lead to big gains in material. And yeah, so I love to focus on that square. But this is just a good way to start your game if you're playing with the king's pawn opening. This isn't going to mean you win all your games because you learn an opening, but it's a good way to start your game, good way to control the center and push on your opponent. So he does take that, and we're going to take it back and attack his pawn. We are getting low on time again because of explaining, so we'll take here and fork his king and his bishop, and he'll attack there, take his bishop, and yeah, so this is a lot because of my opening. If I didn't have an opening here, I probably wouldn't be in this position right now. We'll just castle here, get my king to safety. If you're a beginner, definitely castle early. It gets your king to safety early. We'll defend this. Gotta look out for forks too, because if he takes here, then he'll... Well, it's not a fork, but in this position, he can take my rook, so we gotta take an eye on that. We'll take this file here. He'll probably come and attack my... His king is kind of out in the board right now, so that's not ideal for my opponent, but yeah, we'll go here, probably. Oh, he'll move there, so push here, check. Gotta move pretty quickly here. Take. Dang, I do not have much time here. This is going to be close. He's taking a lot of time on this move. Could move this. I got to be thinking here. I got to use all the time that I can get. So here, I'm going to try to checkmate him early. That's like the only way. Go here and attack his king. Here. Attack here. What do I move here? We'll try to push here. He'll take, so here. Now I'm really trying to move fast here. Takes, we'll move here. Yes! Woo! Oh, I got that achievement, nick of time. We won with less than a second left. Yeah, that was pretty close because of time, but if you're not explaining it to someone, you're probably going to move a little quicker than that. Yeah, that was close. Look how much time. He had so much time compared to me. Like, he just took a long time on his moves. Holy cow. That was crazy. He had so much time here compared to me. And I just kept moving quickly. Wow, that was close. Anyways, that's the king's pawn opening for you. If you want to learn, you can learn on chess.com with any of the teachers that they have here. I think it's like AI teachers or whatever. You can learn there. You can learn your openings. Just keep practicing these lines, and you'll get good really quickly. And hopefully you can start winning some games and start your chess journey. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe. Bye.